Welcome to tonight's Sketchy Live. Talking about how do you stay motivated as an artist, and I've asked a whole bunch of how they do it as well. So yeah, I'll be talking about that while at the same time illustrating the kids' book Super Scout by Elijah and Crumpet. And as you can see here, here's the next kind of page which I'm working on here. It's kind of, I thought it would be fun to do it as a bit of a instruction manual. The text being, have you ever heard that we learn from our mistakes? Learning from experience is all that it takes. I know all about that. Believe in yourself. Leave that doubt at the door. You'll find making mistakes is a strength, not a flaw. I think that's pretty cool. So yeah, that's what I've kind of been working on today, the instruction manual page. If I go back to what I've been working on the last couple of days, so last night I was working on this one, of Crumpet overcoming his fears and going on the flying fox. Now I've got a few alterations to make on this page, a few edits that I'll be doing. And prior to that page, we've got the one in the bathroom. Oh, cat fight. All about saving water and electricity. And that's a pretty bad sounding cat fight. I don't know if you can hear that. Anyway, so I'm going to get into doing some more work on this page, and we'll start our little chat about how do you stay motivated as an artist. And the first person here is Artzilla Aisha saying, browsing other people's art is a great way to get motivated. And I find that sometimes for me is a great way to get motivated. I find often, though, you've got to be careful of comparing yourself to other people's work, other people that are far more advanced than you are. But it's good to get inspired by it, but not daunted by it and put off by it. So I think there's a fine line when it comes to kind of checking out other people's art, getting inspired by other people's art. I find a great way that I get inspired by people's art is to not actually look at other artists. Like for me, not going and looking at book authors and seeing what they're doing, but instead going and seeing, watching the movies that I love, reading the books that I love, and it could even be like I've come from a background of loving horror films and thriller films and stuff like that, and I can get inspired by those and bring those influences in to a kid's book without making, like a horror or thriller kid's book, but just in terms of camera angles and methods of storytelling and things like that. I find that's kind of more inspirational for me for getting motivated by other people's art. So, but yeah, as Artzilla says, sometimes it's hard to stay motivated, and it is sometimes if you're kind of sometimes, like, as well. I find if I'm not well, As an artist, that can kind of be frustrating. But yeah, there's ways around that. But I'd say the big thing is get inspired by art that's not necessarily from a similar place where you are in the space where you are creating art. Had a great one here from Just Blend saying, drop motivation because that's only for a point in time. Instead, find discipline and stay committed. And I think that's a brilliant answer, because I find often I'm not motivated before I start drawing. Like, I'm excited by it. I love doing it. But sometimes I'd rather just veg out, sit on the couch and scroll through my phone and disappear a night like that. But the funny thing is, I think if you stay with like a schedule or you commit to a discipline in your artwork, then you're more likely to stay motivated and get motivated, because I find I think there's an actual theory. I think they call it like, is it something like the 2-minute rule or something like that, and it's basically, if you want to create a habit and get started, kind of commit to like drawing every day or something like that, the best thing to do is to get down and work on that project or that thing that you're wanting to do, but work on it commit to 2 minutes, and after 2 minutes you go, oh God, I've had enough of this. I'm going to give it a rest now and go and scroll on my phone. Then you kind of give yourself that freedom. But often I find it's a bit like with my planning my live streams, is once I get on the live stream, I really get into it, really start enjoying it, and I find that I can go for hours once I've started. So it's a matter of just getting started, and then you kind of keep the ball rolling. So that's a great way to create a discipline, and I'm creating a discipline for my live streams, for my artwork, by going live on a regular basis and committing to that, even when I'm not doing a book like I'm doing now. I'm going to be committing to going live every day, and the day that I'm not going live, I'm going to commit to uploading a video of some other work that I've been doing or something like that. So I just keep the pace and the momentum and everything like that. So yeah, I think that's a really good answer. Prince of Cavan says rent day is coming up. That's how he stays motivated. And I don't know, I'm sure it's something you have to do to kind of keep off the streets and everything, but I find it can be I find that just kind of daunting, and I kind of shut down when I get into that kind of situation. Grimmaster Art, howdy, how's it going? Ahoy, great to have you here. Grimmaster Art from Twitch. We are talking about, well, I'm talking about how do you stay motivated as an artist. So if you've got any questions, jump in. I was just talking about rent day coming up as a way of getting motivated, but you end up kind of resenting, well, I do. I end up kind of resenting having to work to pay bills. That was my question. Yes, the dread day. So I think if you can find motivation in other ways, apart from the threat of being kicked out on the streets, I think you'll find that will give you a much more positive result. Grimmaster Art, how does one stay motivated? I don't know, I was just talking about I'm doing Grimmaster Art, and even though often it's not too many people or any people, it kind of keeps me turning up every night and continuing on. Grimmaster Art, I started officially streaming last year and did it for a month, streaming art, and ultimately I think I'm creating this kids book, the Elijah and Crumpet kids book called Super Scout. These are all the double page spreads here, and I decided I wanted to document the entire journey, but I'd only kind of like do it for about an hour a night. And so that kind of keeps me popping up and staying and keeping a routine, and the routine kind of helps me stay motivated. So just so this Grimmaster Art, this is my previous book for the same people, Elijah and Crumpet, and it was called Motivate Man. Now what I'm doing is I've got all of a lot of my drawings on layers, except this was in Adobe Draw, and now I'm in Procreate, and I'm using a lot of the characters and what have you in the new book, Super Scout. So I'm just going back through and finding some characters that I'm going to use on this page. Elijah and Crumpet are here from YouTube. Hi Rob. Hi Andy, just had a movie night watching The Free Guy, so getting Elijah to bed. Back in a bit. Yep, no worries. I've got Grimmaster Art on Twitch. Typical. So I'm looking for a picture of, so this is my storyboard, going back into my storyboard. These are my storyboards, really rough. This is kind of what I had initially. And so the pet monkey in the front of a tent, and Elijah standing proudly by the side of it. Now what I'll use is Elijah from Motivate Man and kind of alter him, kind of turn him into a Frankenstein chop up job on him. So, and also can do a bit of a flip of the character as well. Not going to go that one, but eventually I'm kind of bringing across all these characters that are previously drawn into the new program. And every time I go into Adobe Draw I say this, it's like it's a bit of a mess. I don't know what you use, Grimmaster Art, but in Adobe Draw I don't seem to see any good way of filing your work, so you've kind of just got to churn through all your old files from order of when you kind of open them, and find something from there. Now, I kind of think I know the one I want. I'm planning on doing Inktober, but I use the classic pen and paper. You get more random lines when using pen. Yeah, I wonder if I do like a Inktober on a digital Inktober. It's not really Inktober then, I suppose, is it? I think this one's quite a good one. It's weird because I'm used to Procreate, all the gestures from Procreate. So I'm just like trying to remember what they all are. You get more random, yeah, pretty much. I respect digital art. Well, thank you. I started this first Motivate Man book as pencil sketches, drawing over pencil sketches, and that kind of developed to me colouring in those pencil sketches and turning into digital art. And now I'm pretty much primarily just creating as digital art. Now what I think I'm going to do, because I've had this issue before, is rather than assemble him on that page, I'm going to assemble him on a separate page out here. And in fact, might even be able to do a bit of alterations on here. Yeah, maybe. Give it a go. I'll bring in the background. I started making art, so I was lazy all year. I wasn't, but besides that, yeah, cool. Alrighty, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to get this one of Elijah, going to duplicate it before I start chopping him up. And start to create that before I layer him on there. And we have Fed Art work page saying drinking lots of tea. And I can definitely relate to that. For me, it's coffee. And I'm normally like, I am best working in the morning, and I prefer to be a morning worker, but my kids don't agree with that. They tend to wake up, and so the only time when I can really get stuff done is when my kids have gone to bed. So and that, because it's not really my thing, I've got to have coffee to survive. But I have heard weird things about coffee, like, you hear it's not bad for you, and you hear a lot of studies. But I've also heard that coffee actually decreases the blood flow to your heart and to your brain. And that's why apparently it lends itself quite well for focusing on specific tasks. So there's a bit of trivia for you. And if you don't believe me, you can look it up about coffee reducing blood flow to your brain. So I think if you want to focus in on a job, get a job done, it might be the way to go. I'm not sure about that arm. I'm kind of thinking he's got his arms out like, ta-da, like you've got it all done. But I might need to shorten that arm. I think it might be a bit long. Sketchy Guru from Instagram says, I envisage where I want to see myself a year or two from now. And that's how I'm motivated. And yeah, I think goal setting can be really helpful. Sometimes it's a bit hard to think where you do want to be in a year or two from now. Like, I think it helps to actually have those kind of goals. Otherwise, you kind of can just drift along aimlessly with your work, which is fine if that's what you want to do. But if you want to actually get to a point where you're making a living out of your art, I think you've got to have a game plan as to how that's going to happen. So this swiveling technique kind of works. It's got a lot of fixing to do here. So Grandmaster Art, do you go live very often on Twitch, and what kind of stuff do you draw? How did you stay motivated? So this is kind of the pose. It's like the ta-da. I'm hoping it's a ta-da. And I need to change shoe colours as well. But it's getting there. Devil's Field on Instagram says, no idea how I stay motivated. My head is so full of ideas that I actually have to paint sculpt in order to stay calm. I think that sounds like a ideal place to be as an artist. So, apart from the fact it sounds a little bit maddening that you've got so many ideas and so little time, but never being stuck for ideas is a very good thing. And I think the thing is, I think one of the most important things about motivation is just getting started. Because as I was saying before, all you got to do is just get that little bit of momentum happening, and you know, just say, oh, I'm gonna just commit to a couple of minutes, and before you know it, you go, oh, I already got into this and ended up drawing all night. So that's definitely a method which works for me. So what I'm going to attempt to do here is, this may work, may not work, is warp this around here. I've had to remove one badge already, but that's not too bad. I really love how you can have this kind of warp feature in Procreate. Now, let's build up the yellow. I'll come back over with my black lines. Going the sketching HB pencil. To tidy that up. Now I think we need a little bit of extra forearm there, but I'll do the other shoulder just to get that happening. Let's see how this goes. Let's go warp that thing. Elijah and Crumpet back now. Did you get much done on the bus today? No, I've mainly just been doing some extra work on the book. Today I'll show you what I've been doing in a minute. It's what I'm kind of creating for this page here. I have Crumpet with his arms out going, come today, I got to change the shoe colour, because I had to change the shoe colour on the other one too. But so where are we? This is kind of what I had for my idea for this plan one. And I had to split the lines too, so let me know what you think about the line split, because I did. Have you ever heard that we learned from our mistakes? So I've changed that sentence into 2 lines. Learning from experiences of attacks. And so here I've got the instruction manual for the tent. And I've got Crumpet tied up in the cord, and the pegs hanging off him in the tent pole, and also I've got a nice little feature here. I thought, I just thought, what else can I put in here? So I thought I'll put in a toilet simply for You can feel free to take that out if you like, Rob, but I thought a lot of kids will probably get a bit of a laugh out of that, having a toilet in your tent. And here we go. This is, so I've taken plan 1 and I've got to turn it into the real tent. I've just colorized it. I'm just going to make it a normal tent, take off all the lettering and put the poles in properly, and put Crumpet and Elijah on this page here, with Crumpet kind of standing with his arms out, like on the previous page that I was working on. So that's kind of my idea that I had in mind for a bit of an IKEA instruction manual as to how to put your tent together. And Crumpet getting very confused and mixed up. So yeah, back out to Crumpet with his arms out, and a bit of and just general fixing up. I like it, but the only thing is that shouldn't Crumpet tied up be in real life and not on the instructions? I kind of like it on the instructions. It's kind of, I just kind of, I can make him real life, but yeah, I just like that feature. Where are we? I just like how he's kind of in that kind of world or universe of the plan, like he's stuck in the plan kind of thing, and he's in that world which kind of separates him from on this side where he'll be in colour, a lot happier with the tent which has been made. But we can always change him to colour there, but I kind of liked him to be part of the plan, but that was my plan. Okay, gotta do some tidying up of arms here. And raising of other bits. I'll go up here and do the... Hey Elijah, how you doing? Happy Wednesday to you. Is it Wednesday for me? I don't even know what day of the week it is. I think it's still Wednesday. Yes, it is Wednesday. I've already had your tip for motivation up on the screen. That was my first one. Tips for how you stay motivated as an artist. And you were number one. Well, welcome, Artzilla. Hope you're doing well. You'll be able to check it out on the replay. If you feel so inclined. Now, we'll get into a few of the more motivation tips from us. I put the question out on Instagram about how certain artists stay motivated, and got some good responses. Got 10 responses in all. Who are we up to? Up to here. The Belgian artist said, by trying new art styles and trying new mediums. It's a great way to stay motivated. You know, I think that's true, like, you know, constantly challenging yourself and trying to master new skills is definitely a way of staying motivated. And I know with Procreate, which I'm drawing with, which is a whole new program for me. So like if I'm drawing in the live stream and I come up against something I just don't know how to do it, I write it down, I make a note of it, and after the live stream go find out how to do it. And I find that's a real massive boost, being able to actually do something that you didn't know how to do last live stream. The next live stream you jump on, you can actually demonstrate how to do it, so you can show others how to do it, because other people might be having that same issue. So, you know, that kind of keeps me motivated. Keeps my kind of interest level up as I'm trying to kind of master the program and just know my way around it really well, because there's just so much to learn within Procreate. And I think when I have a quiet spot where I'm not actually doing a book, I'd like to kind of take some courses and kind of master some of my other artistic skills as well. I think like constantly learning and training and honing your skills is definitely a great way to stay motivated, because you can see the improvements that you've made, and seeing improvements in your work is a great way to motivate yourself. Zilla, I might do a horror art compilation for Halloween special. That sounds pretty good. So I'm going to go in here. And just tidy up this little bit in here. Right pen. So Rob, we had someone on Twitch before, so that's pretty cool. Had a bit of a chat just as you were kind of rolling in. Get a bit more on Twitch. Now what I think I might need to do is bring that up like that. Have you been doing many more gaming live streams, Artzilla? I saw that's kind of what you were up to last time. And so I'll bring this around just to give it, because his arm's pretty much straight, but just to give that idea that it's not just one straight pole of an arm. There's actually an inside of an elbow in there somewhere. And I might need to move some of these stickers around, and I'll need to stickers, badges they call them, scout badges. Need to move that one down. Didn't even know I had that yellow bit there. So it's not going to really work until I get rid of that bit. What layers are that's on that bit? Going to merge that down. Plug that back in there. Yes, for link badge, yep. I know I had to remove that to adjust for sleeve. Far too distorted, so I just decided to take it off, and I'll put it back on. Get in behind there with a bit of a yellow. Behind there, I thought. My layer disappeared. Here we go. Zilius, I might do a gaming stream this week or maybe next week. Haven't decided what game I'm gonna stream yet. I'll check my PC. Very cool. One day I'm sure I'll play games again. Probably by the time my kids get to that kind of age of playing games of historic games. So I suppose it would be good for my daughters, because they'll be able to beat me really well. I have lots of games, Rob, I can't choose. Now, there's my link badge. So I need to bring it up above there. link badge on the cuff always gives me a bit of grief in terms of proportions. What I can do is warp. And I'll warp in that corner. Like so, and I'll bring that one in there. So it's going to, I think it actually kind of even worked that time. Goodness gracious. And I want Elijah's shoes to be black. Much smaller, Andy. What do you mean much smaller? I need more information. The link badge, okay, cool. Shall do. See if I can get any more. So I don't have to go in and tidy it up too much. We should ask Artzilla for a third opinion about the tent instructions. Okay, yeah, so Artzilla, are you there? I think about 75% of what it is now, the link badge. Yes, let me know if you're there, Artzilla. We've got a very important question about the book. Where are we, Elijah? Here we go. And we'll go in here. And colour those. Don't know whether that one wants to do that. It's weird, I might just have to paint that on top. It's a problem when you zoomed in too far, you can't see exactly how much of the selection area you're actually doing. And for some reason it shaded Elijah's leg there. I'll have to go back in and just retouch that. Get it with that one, then I'll go back with a black sketchy over top. was the leg colour. Looks like what it was. Very good. Now I might need to adjust the eyes. Oh, that's right. Link badge, link badge. About 75%. Okay. Let's try and keep it uniform now. What do you think of that, Rob? Does it look about 75%? Perfect, excellent. Now I think I'm pretty sure I need to where are you, Elijah? Oh, it'll be under the scout colours. That is the colour of the shorts, not the current colour. Not the whole page, just for shorts, thank you. Cool. And I might have to change the eye line. The eye line depending on where I've positioned Crumpet in the end. So I'm going to merge these down. Background. Got the canvas. Head on over. Finish for tents as well. Yeah, so even like a bit of a tilt of the head. Slight issue. What's the slight issue, Rob? You didn't do monkey face for. What's the issue, Rob? I saw the monkey face. Now I'm going to go a tilt of the head. The badges start lower down. Okay. Would they look lower down with that kind of arm pose? The fact that he's got his arm raised like that. Now I reckon Crumpet's going to be down here somewhere. Elijah and Crumpet, there is stitching where the sleeve starts. That's on the bit. I'll make sure shoulder on the corner and the badges are on the sleeve. Just realised because they look like they're across the top, but they're all in the sleeve bit. Okay. It's quite a bit of yellow across the top. quite a bit. A big bit. Now I want to find, I'm also going to, you know how on all the other pages, Rob, we've got white text with a black shadow. White text with a black shadow. On this one, I was thinking maybe black text with a white shadow. Maybe shove the plane closer to the link badge. Bring both of the others down. Plane closer to the link badge, yeah. Yep, I can do that, that's no worries, Rob. That's all cool. Black is great on this one. What do you think about a bit of a white background on it? Just to kind of lift it, or just keep it plain black. We might have a waking baby. I have to just go quiet for a bit. I think my youngest daughter might have gone back to sleep, which would be handy. Except a fly has found its way into here as well. We'll get to the rest of the motivating things as well. We've had this one. Donovan McGoldrick said, I've changed my goals from performing well on Instagram to learning more about my craft. And it sounds like a productive shift, I said, because, trying to get goals of a certain amount of subscribers or a certain amount of followers on social media pages doesn't really mean anything. Like, if you have, all you need is a few very good loyal followers, and then you kind of set up, really. I think the only reason why you'd want to or need to have lots of followers is if you wanted to kind of class yourself as an influencer or something like that. That's the only kind of benefit I can see for having a massive Instagram following. I'm finding at the moment I'm getting so much more out of actually reaching out and connecting with other artists over these questions that I'm just kind of talking about on the live streams. And then hopefully they might come over and check out the live stream as well and see what I'm up to over here. It's my sneaky way of trying to promote the live stream to encourage people to come over here and check out what's going on. But yes, I think energy spent on honing your craft as opposed to getting extra followers, subscribers and likes on social pages is beneficial, but there is a balance, because you don't want to be working in a vacuum. You want people to actually see what you're doing, so that then some people might actually hire you in the future. So that was a good one. Just before we check out of the hour, Rob, I'll do that thing with a text and just see what you think. But pretty much, with the thing with the plans, maybe ask the family, see what they think, or we could even put it up on social media and say, what do you think? Should Crumpet be in as part of a plan, like he's been kind of lost in the instructions of putting up the tent, or should he be an actual figure, like standing in front of, or colour figure standing there? We could put it out to the socials. So what I will do for the text, duplicate that, get an alpha lock on that, go white, and we'll see if it makes your eyes go funny. Okay, and then take off the alpha lock and switch around these. And then white. Take it across and down. What do you think about Rob? Well, I'll flip between. So that or that. That or that. That or that. Let me know which way you wanna highlight it. I'm thinking from a kid's point of view, I think they would get the 3D image of Crumpet tied up more. Okay, yep, I'll make Crumpet colour. So would you have him in the same spot, or have maybe make the instruction manual smaller, have him standing out into the green? It's sharp with just the black, but it does lift it off the background with the white. Yeah, I'll bring it up real big so you can see it. So, with the white, or just black. I'm almost thinking just black. It's more in keeping with the rest of the book having the double, but just black, yeah, no, I agree. That's the way I'm leaning towards. Cool, so I'll go into just fixing up a bit more of this tent. And then I'll get into putting Crumpet on there. I think we've got a couple more of these. Art Moel Mooney. Outside of my job, I take note of things that interest me and make art from them. Just relaxed. A good way to get motivated, if you can, just take your inspiration from the world around you. And I think it's good practice, you know, to see, just to take notice. I mean, you can go through life with your head down looking at your phone all the time, that bus, or you're waiting in that queue or something, you know, like that. It's good to pay attention to the world around you, what's going on. And I used to catch the bus a bit. It used to be good for scripts, and it was a good way to see how some people talk, you know, because you might not quite understand how certain kinds of people, like how young people might talk or whatever. It's a great way to just investigate, not without being a creepy eavesdropper, but, you know, just kind of, and just to hear what people are talking about as well. It's a great way to kind of get inspiration and hear other stories too. So yes, getting inspiration from the real world is a good one. So this tent's looking, oh, the wrong colour here. Get my technical pen a bit bigger. And I've got a letter up here to get rid of. Tony. By making pieces that are fun to make. That's a good way to get motivated. Make sure you're having fun while you're making it. And Elijah and Crumpet, maybe if your instructions can sit in the middle of a page, then Crumpet just appears tied up to the left. Then the scene isn't split. They have two tents they're working on. Maybe if your instructions can sit in the middle of a page. Would you run it across the fold? Instructions running across the fold of a page. And then have a Crumpet tied up on the left and Elijah on the right. All set up with a perfect tent. They have two tents they're working on. But that would be like... Oh, I think we have to come back to this one. We have an awake kid in the back. Cool. Alright. We'll have to workshop that one a bit, Rob. I've got to go. I've got an awake kid. And we're about an hour and a quarter now anyway. So anyway, great to see you, Rob. We'll catch you tomorrow.